Okay, I want to talk about doing mathematics with positive and negative integers because I know that's something that can be really confusing. And it's also really important that we get that this year. We don't want to keep having troubles with it. So, the first thing I want to talk about is that when we're talking about adding and subtracting, that those are the same thing. Okay, we're not going to say that there's any difference between negative 9 minus 3 and negative 9 plus negative 3. Those are both add subtract problems. So the rules that apply to this one also apply to this one. So the rules apply the same way whether something is added or subtracted. And that's going to be really important to know. So let's start with an example of when we're dealing with two numbers that have different signs and we're going to add subtract them. So in your paper, you should write different signs and then also write that add subtract, please. When you're done writing that, let's do our first example. Negative 4 plus 7. These are different signs. The 4 has a negative on the left. The 7 has a positive on the left. So to me, these are different signs because I have a negative 4 and I have a positive 7. Those are different signs. So the rule for different signs is you subtract. Doesn't matter what it says. If the signs are different, you're going to subtract. You're going to subtract big minus small. And then the answer has the sign of the big number. Okay, so the answer, you're going to use the sign of the big number. So here are the steps. If you have different signs and it's add, subtract, you're always going to subtract. Big number minus the small number, and then your answer takes the sign of the big number. In other words, the big number wins. Did you write that down? So here, 7 is bigger than 4. So I say 7 minus 4 is 3. Is the answer going to be positive or negative? Positive, because the big number wins. Let's do another one. Six minus 11. This is an add subtract problem. It follows the same rule. Some kids get mixed up because they're like, oh, it's subtraction, it's different. Adding and subtracting use the same rules. Do we have different signs? Yes, because how we look at the signs is we just look at what's directly to the left. So this would be considered a positive 6. If you just look at the sign to the left, this would be considered a negative 11. This might be different than your middle school teacher taught you. That's okay. I kind of like this method though. So I have a positive 6 and a negative 11. I'm going to use the rule. Big number minus small number. 11 minus 6. That's 5. What am I going to put for the answer? I use the sign of the big number. 11 is bigger. I get negative 5. That's it. If you follow those rules every time you have different signs, then you're going to get the right answer every time. So let's try a couple. So I'm going to call this one number 3. Let's do 10 minus 12. And I'm going to write down a couple of them, and then you can pause your recording and do that. Okay, so this would be a good time to pause your recording and get your own answers for these, but do me a favor, use the rule. Don't ever do these by feel. You got to use the rule, because if you don't use the rule, you'll get them wrong. So many people do them by feel and they're getting them wrong when there's just a really clear rule to use. So pause your recording. I'll see you in a second. Welcome back. You did the problems, right? If you didn't do the problems, you should pause your recording again. So here we go. We are using this rule about the different signs. And we're saying if they have different signs, you're going to subtract. So this is considered a positive 10. This is considered a negative 12. These are different signs because you just look directly to the left. Okay, if the first number doesn't have a sign to the left, it's positive. Okay, so I have to subtract the big number minus, oops, I didn't write that very well. Here we go. The big number minus the small number. So 12 minus 10, that's 2. Is it positive 2 or negative 2? Well, the big number was a negative 12, so the answer is negative 2. Boom, got it. Negative 6 plus 4. Clearly different signs. I don't care if it's plus or it's minus. All that matters is what sign is attached to each number. Okay, so this is a negative 6, and this is a positive 4. We're going to do big number minus small number, meaning if you don't care about the sign, 6 minus 4, big number minus small number, that's 2. Which one was bigger? The 6. So the negative number wins. Now, is it always going to be negative if you have a positive and a negative? No, not in addition or subtraction. Look at this one. Negative 4 plus 7. Since 7 was the bigger number, it wins. We had a positive answer. It just happens, the 3 examples I picked here, that the big numbers were all negative. Negative 19 plus 1. Okay, 19 minus 1, that's 18. And negative. Okay, let's do 2 more. Pause your recording, copy those down, and please make sure you're following the rules. Big minus small, and the big sign wins. Welcome back. And if you didn't pause your recording, you should pause and try these on your own. Again, I can't say enough. Please follow the rule. If you're not following the rule, you're just doing it by feel, then you're going to get a lot of them wrong. So let's see. Negative 10 plus 16, clearly different signs. That's a positive on the 16. That's a negative on the 10. I don't care if it's a plus problem or a minus problem. All I care about is what sign is attached to each number when we're adding and subtracting. 16 minus 10, big minus small. That's 6. Which one is bigger? The 16, so my answer is positive. Boom. 12 minus 1, 11. My 12 is bigger, so my answer is positive. We got this. Now, that's just the straight up rule. If you want just a little bit of something to go in the background for it, you can use some symbols. So here's some symbols that I do. Let's say I have negative 4 plus 9. I can think of it like a video game, a really boring one, but I have 4 negatives. Get it? Negative 4. 4 negatives. And they are going to battle with 9 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's assume that when they go to battle, they obliterate each other. Just 50-50. All right. So those guys obliterate each other. 4 negatives obliterate 4 of the positives. So how many positives are left? 5. You know why? Because the big one always wins. So the 9, it lost 4 to the minus 4, but it still had 5 left. Okay, that can help people. So here's another one. Let's say that I have negative 7 plus 6. All right, now you can use my other method. It works just as well, but if you ever get lost on this, okay, I have, we're going to battle. We have 7 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, number 3 looked kind of weird. And then I have 6 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's going to happen when we go to battle? what's going to happen is these guys are all going to cancel each other out, right? They're going to obliterate each other. What's going to be left at the end of the battle? 1 negative. So our answer is -1. Now on both of these, the other rule still works. Big minus small. 9 minus 4 is 5, and it stays positive because 9 is positive. 7 minus 6 is -1. Why is it a -1? Because we had more negatives to start with. That's it. You just have to remember to use the rules.